Howdy, y'all. It's Cody from the Keepers of Nerdom. How you doing? It's good to be back with you all. And I had this random thought, and it kind of actually sat in my mind for a bit. And I went, you know what? I think I should just make a video that's just kind of a nerdy, fun thing of a tier maker list on the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movies I've seen. And I got to wondering as I was getting ready to kind of do this thing, what movies have I seen of Arnold Schwarzenegger? Because I kind of had this thought in my head. I'd seen most of them. And then when you pull up a tier maker list, you start looking around and realizing I actually haven't seen as many movies as I thought, right? Because the reality of it is there are so many films that honestly at times they're not as good. They don't do as well. And so you don't watch them unless they just happen to show up on now Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or something, right? One of the streaming services, and you go, "Ooh, I'm going to turn that on because I'm working on something else and I want to see it." You know, often when I'm working on some building of Necrons or Tau, and Gowron's back here trying to help me out, I try to do some stuff to kind of do some studying on. Hey, let's watch something while I'm working. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. What if we ranked the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? But I have to be very, very honest with you. When I looked through this list initially, it hit me. I haven't seen as many Arnold Schwarzenegger films as I thought. But I thought, you know what? It'd be fun to just admit to you all what I have and haven't seen, what I have, and what I think of it. And there's some movies actually already on here that I'm going, I need to actually go and watch these now because I haven't seen them, and I need to understand the career that Arnold Schwarzenegger has had. And as you can see on our pictures here, Arnold has been in acting in all these things for a very long time. Man, it's just kind of crazy to think like the first picture is like him bodybuilding and whatnot before even the Terminator. I would guess that picture, and now here's him in the more current era. You know, he's showing his age. He's getting up there, but man, he has done some amazing things just to keep himself in good shape. And honestly, so far we've seen really good health. So yeah, let's go through what are some movies from Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there's some I might skip for a little bit just because reason being is I want to talk about them a little further. But there's gonna be some I'm just gonna admit right away that I haven't seen. Maybe we should just do that. Let's just do that. I'll just go through the things I have not seen. So Aftermath, I have never seen. I don't know anything about that film. No idea what that is. Okay, just throwing it out there. We're just gonna be real honest, real fast with this. This one, Brigette's Island. I've never even heard of this. It looks like a B movie at best. I have no idea. We're just gonna throw these out here because I'm just gonna be really honest with you all. Yeah, this one, Collateral Damage, have not seen at all. Don't know anything about it, but now I'm kind of intrigued on that one. That's not on my I want to go watch list. Commando. It's funny. I have heard all about this film. I thought I had seen it, and then looking at the cover and all these things, I'm like, I've just seen Predator, not Commando. And that's the reality of some of these films. Like, they're older. They're just not, I don't know. And I think Commando was actually a popular one, and I just never saw it. I don't know why. This is a shameful confession of myself, is Conan the Barbarian and the Destroyer. I have not seen. I've always heard they're pretty epic as far as just Arnold being perfect for the role. I don't know why I never watched them. It's so weird. Okay. And we just got to get these out of the way, right? So we're going to go through End of Days. No idea what that is. Eraser, we'll come back to that one because I have seen that one. Escape, no clue what that is, but I'm intrigued on that one. I kind of want to see it. Hercules looks like a B movie at best. It looks rough. I have not seen it, and it looks like it was way back in the day when he was just out of bodybuilding. Wow. Killing Gunther, I have no idea what that is. It looks like a newer movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger is in it, but he's not necessarily the main person. It looks like that's the case with Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, Last Action Hero, Maggie. Don't know what that is. We're just gonna get all these out of the way real quick so we can get really down to it. Raw Deal, nothing. No meaning at all. We're going to have to scroll down a little bit here to get these. Red Heat. It's got the Soviet Union symbol in there. Now I just want to see it because I'm intrigued on what it means. Is that John Belushi? Nice. See, that's just it. There's so many movies from back in the day. Not a clue. Red Sonja looks an awful lot like a knockoff of Conan the Barbarian, or like a continuation or something. 'Cause it looks like he has the same hair and everything. Interesting. I have not seen that. Just, you're getting it. I'm just telling you. We're just knocking them out. Sabotage. No idea. So again, this is the thing. I thought I had seen a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and apparently I haven't. The Sixth Day I have not seen. I always saw that cover, thought that I have seen that movie, and realized no, I've seen like movie with Mars, which is Total Recall. I've seen that one, but not The Sixth Day, and I really want to see that now. The Man in the Iron Mask, didn't know he was a thing in that, and I don't know which version of that movie is. And The Last Stand, no idea. And my last very shameful one I've never seen, and it's on my bucket list now to see, is Running Man. I have seen clips from it, and I've seen him running, and I know the basic premise of him trying to escape from this like death game stuff, but I've never actually watched that. So we just got to get these out of the way, so we're done. Okay, this is my confession here. I have not seen over half of these Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and I didn't realize it. And to be fair, are all of these actually really the good ones? Well, yeah. And to be fair, some of them that I have seen, not all of them are that great. We'll go through those, but I just want to go ahead and get those out of the way. These are the ones I haven't seen. Several of these I'd like to see. The Conan the Barbarian movies, I like to see. Red Sonja, looks kind of interesting. The Sixth Day, I read the premise for that. Wow, that looks interesting. I don't know why I've never seen it. And Running Man, I want to see really bad too. So let's go over here and go down here. We have our first one. Let's go start at the bottom here, I guess. It's kind of funny. Twins. I always remember enjoying this, but I never go back and watch it because it's not something that just sounds amazing to me for some reason. So we're going to put it in the all right category. Not bad by any means, but just not the funniest in a way. And it's funny because I think the other movie with Danny DeVito in it and Arnold stands out in a major way. And I remember watching Twins once or twice at least, and just I've never come away from it went, yes, that was really, really good. True Lies. If memory serves, we're going to have to move up here. I remember this one being pretty good, but I don't remember wanting to go back and see it because it's Jamie Lee Curtis as well. And he's a spy, and his wife doesn't know it, but then she gets hired to be a spy as well, and they have this crazy awkward scene too, but it's kind of funny because of everything, because at one point she actually literally slips and it's outside of the actual scene, and Arnold almost jumps out to catch her, and they left it in the movie, which I love that concept there. So Total Recall, it's funny, I've watched the original, and it's just really more so known for the awkwardness of a certain scene. I'm going to put it in a way, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put Twins in meh because I barely remember it. Total Recall, I remember the insanity of it, but I don't remember it being epic. Yeah. Yeah, that's it was interesting, just the idea of you could have your memory erased and not really know, but then they did a remake, and the remake didn't do much either. So anyway, the original Terminator. Okay, let's put it up here. Let's keep moving it up here. It is awesome at the very least. I don't think it is an outstanding film by any means, but I do think it is awesome, because the reason it's not outstanding is just because it didn't have the budget to make it fully hit every beat that it needed to, and I think the sequel does so comparatively. But Arnold gets a big break in a lot of ways here and doesn't say a whole lot, but yet his presence makes the movie amazing. Yeah. Okay, here's a few that it's going to take me a little bit to remember, because it's funny, I haven't watched these for quite a while, but I always remember having fun in every single one of the Expendables 1, 2, and 3. But the problem is, we'll put them here as awesome, and I'm not going to necessarily put them as outstanding, in part because it's been a while since I've seen them, other than maybe Expendables 1? Maybe, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, if memory serves, was kind of a side note to the whole film, because Sylvester Stallone and his crew is more so the main thing, and then like Mel Gibson, Arnold Schwarzenegger are like separate characters in the film. But I always enjoyed them, but because it's a romp back through 80s action heroes and whatnot, which I think is awesome. but I think it's more so that they're just an excuse to get a lot of people. But I also just I don't want to put them as outstanding also because it doesn't feel like, from what I remember, an Arnold Schwarzenegger film series that's really focused on him. He's in it, but not like the main person. Okay, this looks like it's Terminator Genesis. All right, let's just get really real. This is outstanding. It's the best film in this entire Terminator series. No, just kidding. It's awful. It is terrible, and here's why. It messes up the entire timeline again. Does time travel into the future that the Sarah Connor Chronicles somehow made better, even though it was done way cheaper and way less interesting in a way. And yet it was, well, it's not way less interesting. It was just like they didn't have to go to so many lengths that this movie tried to do to justify being more so in the future and putting Sarah and John Connor into a future time frame to actually enjoy. It was just bad and it was confusing and wow, just bad. Um, Terminator Dark Fate. All right, and you'll notice there is a Terminator film not on here, and that is Terminator. What was that one called? With the Christian Bale and everything. My goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, that one's not on it, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger's face is in the film. It's not actually him, it's just a CGI face. But Terminator Dark Fate is a terrible film. Absolutely terrible, because they kill off John Connor, or Kyle Reese was the guy in the other movie, but they kill off John Connor right off the start, and it's bad. And just it's like watching our modern day the woke political message thing, and it just doesn't work very well for the not the really tall chick with the enhancements, because like that makes sense, but it's the I mean I literally got done with that film. I mean, I was just done with that film and I finished it, but still, just whenever they had the main girl that was from, I think, Mexico, uh, or somewhere south of Mexico, I can't remember, but she's learning how to fire a weapon, and I think Terminator and Sarah are training her, and which it was fun to see the actress again for Sarah Connor, but um, she couldn't hold the gun because it was too big for her, and it's she's just short. She's very short. It wasn't believable on any level at all that this would be a person that people would like follow, because I mean, she gets into a physical fight, she's not going to be able to overpower somebody that's 6'2", because she's like 5 foot nothing. Just she wouldn't have the physical strength, and she can't hold a gun. It was just weird. It was so weird. So I felt bad for Arnold even just being back in this. Okay, Terminator 3. It's actually I personally find it as an awesome movie. Not because it's that good. You know what? I'll be honest. It's an all right movie. I like it just because it continues the idea of the Terminator franchise, and it was fun, and it still had a cohesive story, and it didn't go off the rails completely. The one bad thing was they killed off Sarah Connor off screen, and that was dumb. Terminator 2, it's an awful movie, terrible, just awful. I wouldn't recommend it. Nobody go see it. No. This is the outstanding film. Like, this is the one that I think really made Arnold Schwarzenegger something to be remembered on a whole other scale than even Terminator 1 did. Man, just so good. I'm so sad I cannot remember the name of that silly movie with the other Terminator one with Christian Bale. What is that movie? Not going to worry about it. Moving on. Okay. Let me know down in the comments below if you can remember, because I'm just drawing a blank. All right, so Terminator 2 Judgment Day, super good. We now have the Terminator as a good guy, and that sounds terrible, and it actually worked so well because they played it as, oh, he's the bad guy here to do the same thing again, to get rid of John Connor or someone in this list of people that needs to disappear, so that way Skynet wins, and instead he's been captured and programmed and saves the day against a better Terminator. And unfortunately, I think that's where a lot of the Terminator series went, was we've got to always beat the thing before us. We've always got to make something better. And that you could still tell a good story and still just have T-1000s that are menacing and just bring it back down, because they outgrew their own epicness. And that drives me crazy when they do that. Okay. Man, We're down to the last 7 films here. Predator. Okay, okay, all right. Let's see here. Um, wow, it's started a franchise. I mean, it is a film. Ah, this is hard because okay, I'm gonna leave it here for a second. I might adjust it in a little bit because I love this film. It was a lot of fun, and it was overall outstanding. But there's a scene, and it's actually on the cover of the film right here that I have a problem with, and it's so stupid, and I shouldn't, and it's just nerdy judgment of it. There are so many points in the film where they want to have them holding their assault rifles down lower by their waist and firing, and it looks cool from a cinematic perspective. But if you're going into a military operation where they're fighting against these people in the middle of a jungle, you should have it up next to your face, pointed, aimed, and they just most for the most part don't do that, and it's really obnoxious. Once you get to the actual Predator, the movie just goes insane in a good way. But those scenes where they're attacking the people in the jungle and fighting against them, it's cool. But yet, when you stop to think about like just military tactics and whatnot, like these are supposed to be the best military people, and they're holding their weapons down at their waist, where you'd have way less accuracy and the ability to dispatch an opponent in a matter of seconds versus just spraying and praying because it looks cool from a cinematic perspective. So I don't know. I don't know. It is a good film, but that always gives me that issue. And there's just so many great pieces of that film. Last Action Hero. Okay, I think somehow this movie doesn't have everything perfect, but yet if you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend it. It is something else entirely because it's really a movie making fun of the last action heroes of action genre tropes, and sometimes in movies where they the hero gets shot and they're okay and they survive something that they shouldn't, and it's just funny because it's a film inside of a film that comes out of the film into the film you're watching. And it sounds really confusing, but in the film it makes sense, and it's hilarious because there are certain expectations that Arnold's character has because he's from a movie world, and this kid's trying to help him see that no, there's something else here. It's so funny because it truly gives you just the tropes. And I love there's a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in the film walks past a standee of Sylvester Stallone, who I think they have him as a role similar to something that Arnold had done in a movie, and he compares muscles with him and goes, "Nah, mine are bigger," or something like that, and it's really funny. Like it's such a good play on the idea of the trope of action movies. Kindergarten Cop. My wife actually introduced me to finally watching this film and sitting down with her, and I find that it is an awesome film at the very least. When you get down into it, there's moments where it's kind of slow, but it's because it's more about the mystery of trying to figure out information from the kids. And I think there's something amazing about that because the kids that they get in this film are hilarious. Like they're just so good, and Arnold is a perfect actor to be out of place for this. And it's this interesting thing where they were putting him also in comedies as well as serious films. And this is like that weird blend where it starts off very serious and slowly not devolves, but just evolves into this odd, fun conglomeration of funny and silly and crazy, all wibble wobbled into one. And that's a fantastic, interesting thing that they did there. And it works well. The love story is a little strange in the film. That's one thing I would say. Let's talk about The Eraser. Um, wow. I'm gonna have to say meh. Let's move Twins Tip to all right. Eraser, I would have to just put it at meh because the only thing I remember about The Eraser is there's like a railgun at one point that they're firing at Arnold into a house, and that's all I remember. Like I think he's trying to protect someone or get rid of them initially. I don't know, and gets targeted by the government. but unfortunately, I don't remember it. And it's like, if it was that good, I would remember something about it. And unfortunately, I remember nothing. Just nothing. Whereas Twins, I remember, and I remember laughing in it. Um, but yeah, Eraser, I don't remember anything. Okay, so and this is the problem with Twins. Like I remember parts of Twins, but I don't ever go back and watch it. Where I have gone back and watched several times Junior. Junior, I'm having my baby. And honestly, this again falls up here as the outstanding films to me because it is a comedy for Arnold Schwarzenegger that it shouldn't work at all. I mean, it's the most ridiculous, dumb thing you've ever seen in your life, but it's so funny as you picture Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the manliest man you have ever seen as far as build and body type and all this stuff, and Danny DeVito, who's this itty bitty little guy, and goofy as all get out, and they're scientists that want to test this pregnancy drug, and they can't get FDA approval, so they implant in inside his chest cavity like a baby and inject the drug to see if he can keep the baby till term and to like do a C-section. And it's funny because you're watching as Arnold Schwarzenegger is having all the mood swings of a pregnancy, and it's just an excuse to have a love story that's a comedy that's insane and absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. If you have not seen Junior, go watch this film. It is fantastic. It is a movie that just lets Arnold Schwarzenegger have fun, and I think that's a win. Great film. Great film. Now, Jingle All the Way. All right, so watching this as a kid, here's the problem with this. I watched it as a kid, and because of that, it's up here right next to Junior. I love it. Predator's right there too. But why is it so good? Well, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. It's a comedy again. That's the funny thing about. I think they started realizing Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's try him in different roles, and he worked in those roles, and he was fantastic in both action stuff because obviously he has the build for it. But honestly, I remember him more at times from the action stuff like Terminator, where he says very little because it stands out because he says very little, and the comedies are also stand out because they allow him to test out just the ability to act in different ways and have fun, right? And it's almost like the reverse of the comedians, right? They typically get all the comedies, and eventually sometimes they get some serious movies, and it's shocking how good they can be, like Jim Carrey in like The Majestic or The Truman Show, and you know Robin Williams in Bicentennial Man. What's another series like Good Will Hunting? I still need to see that one, but Patch Adams, where it's a comedy-ish, but yet very serious too. It's like it's cool to see those action, you know, like action stars getting to switch over to other places like comedies, and then like comedians switching to these other serious roles. And Jingle All the Way, it's just a goofy, dumb movie about getting an action figure for his kid for Christmas. And there is a scene at the end where like he's talking to his kid in his very strong Austrian accent, and nobody, like the boy and mom, don't recognize him, which is really stupidly funny because you'd figure it out real fast. You're like, come on, nobody else sounds like that in your circle, I'm pretty sure, right, of friends and family. But it's just a great crazy chase movie, and I'll never forget obviously the parade at the end that they're all chasing this Turbo Man action figure, and also Sinbad is a mailman in this. And man, there's a scene that I'm still in ways shocked that the 90s were a different time. You know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't be filmed today. Because there's a scene where he delivers he uses a package and threatens with it, and it does not go well, and they play it off as a joke, and it's crazy to think that was a joke at a time, and nowadays you would not have that as a joke. It's just interesting because watching it as a kid, it was like, that's hilarious, ha ha ha, so funny, and then you go, oh my gosh, what did we just watch? Like, that's messed up. All right, So the last movie kind of saved the best for last, the worst for last. Batman and Robin, Uma Thurman, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's the bad guys, and you got Bane in there too, and the doctor guy that was Lex Luthor's dad in Smallville. Ah man, and George Clooney is Batman and all this other fun stuff. I cannot remember all of the other actors' names, but it's Batman and Robin. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze. I have to be honest with you. This is up here as one of my go-to films. And you're probably going to riot if you're actually watching this going, outstanding? Are you serious right now? Batman and Robin is not outstanding. I don't know how best to explain it, so I'm going to try. Gowron, what do you think? Huh? Batman and Robin is a terrible film. It was designed to sell toys. Arnold Schwarzenegger even apparently had, a light system with battery pack in his mouth that would like slowly leak battery acid into his mouth. Ugh, terrible. But it's everything about that movie is cheesy, over the top. There are lights and glowing things on every thing they could imagine, just so that way they could sell toys to make them look cooler. Put a battery pack in it and make Mr. Freeze light up or the Batmobile light up and da 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 da. And we got to have an outfit change so we can sell that version of Batman and Robin and Batgirl, all this stuff, right? And the infamous Batsuit issues. We'll leave it there. But why is this movie a movie I go back to and watch every now and then? It's literally for one reason. Arnold Schwarzenegger is basically the reason, because he it's like he knew how cheesy it was and how over the top and ridiculous it was. Like it had lost its way from the first two Batman movies, and then the third one was also on that edge of just completely kooky doo crazy. And this one it's to me, it is so bad. It's one of those films it's worth just watching every so often. And I showed it to my daughters. And I mean, they just found it so funny because it's ridiculous. And why does it still to me work? And to me, it's still just an outstanding film that I want to go back and watch. It's because Arnold Schwarzenegger, whenever he shows up in a scene, even though the movie's terrible, even though it's cheesy as all get out, he chews up the scenery as Mr. Freeze. He will have these awesome one-liners or these little speeches that are just so funny in the midst of this terrible film. And like he freezes one of his little henchmen because he's like, I hate it when people talk in the movies. And he like, time to chill. It's like stuff like this. It's stupid. But he was like perfect. And I wish so much. I'm so glad we have this film because I love it. And having seen it though too, I wish before he had gotten older, they could still do it, shave his head and just run with it with maybe some prosthetics to make him look younger. I wish we would have also gotten the serious, like Christopher Nolan Batman series with Mr. Freeze kind of concept. Ooh, that'd be cool. So cool. So I think Arnold could have done that as well. But this film, do you have a soft spot for that film too? I'll go back and watch Terminator 2, Last Action Hero Jr., Jingle All the Way, Predator, these kind of movies, and even the ones in the awesome. Sometimes even the all rights I might go back to. Like I do want to go see Twins again because I haven't. But something about Batman and Robin keeps me coming back, and I think it's just because everything about that movie tries and fails at what they're trying to accomplish, and in doing so, they succeed in a way that they didn't think that they weren't trying to. They succeed in being so cheesy and so over the top. It is fantastic. The fact that George Clooney produces a Bat credit card in that film and tries to play it as some sort of serious piece of the film. This is not a serious Batman movie. It's a Batman cartoon that everybody is tripping on something. Like, it's that bad. And it's so amazing because it's that bad. Go back and watch Batman and Robin and just enjoy Arnold Schwarzenegger chewing up every scene he is in. It's funny because like Uma Thurman was regarded as this really like amazingly attractive lady in this era and all this stuff. I don't honestly see it or get it, but whatever. And what's funny about that is Arnold Schwarzenegger just, even with her in those scenes, he just chews them up. Like there's a scene where they're talking about restarting the world after they freeze it, and she's got this big epic plan and all this stuff, and then she goes, and then Arnold goes, "Yes, Adam and evil." Yeah, like that kind of stuff. I don't even think he laughs after it, but just this stupid line. Like it's so dumb. And if anybody else had said it, would just be rolling my eyes, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah. And then when he gets mad, when he discovers all of the betrayal of Poison Ivy, and just the lines that he has, and always winterize your pipes, just the stuff. It's like, it's so ridiculous that it does. It has a special place in my heart. That is the movie to me that somehow is so bad it's amazing, and I want to always go back every so often, every year and a half or so, and rewatch. And I wish I could fully explain it, and maybe you all can in the comments as well. I think I have somewhat, but it truly is the film that I go back to and want to watch again and again from him. These other movies, they're good and they're funny, but there's something about a movie that's tries so hard to be something and it fails so miserably, and yet one actor somehow, in the midst of this flaming pile of junk that is just completely fallen apart, Arnold Schwarzenegger is there and holding it all together with the most ridiculous insanity ever, and it still just works. What do you think about my list? Obviously, I haven't seen all of the films. There's a lot here. We can scroll back down that I want to see, and some of these I don't really care about because, like, Kaylee Gunther, I have no idea what that is. End of Days, no clue what that is. Escape, okay, maybe. Hercules in New York, I don't really care because that looks really cheesy. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe they are good. If they are, let me know down in the comments. Are these movies you've seen? If so, how are they and why are they good? Do you agree with my rankings of the things that I have seen, and where should some of these that I haven't seen go, and which ones should I watch next? Obviously, I've got a few that I already mentioned. But thank you so much for joining me for a little journey through Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you also, Gowron, for hanging out with us. We'll take care of y'all, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.